Hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming to watch this video. My name is Alejandra. This is Wildflowers Within on YouTube, and I'm super excited to have you here. We are in a crazy eclipse season right now. We have some serious collective earthquakes that are taking place right now in our world, and as outside of us, it always is taking place within. So my goal with this channel is to welcome you to a space of devotional awareness and understanding of lunar rhythm, of planetary alignments, and how we can use astrology to become more self-aware, to have some ease and grace in our life. And hopefully, if you are tuning in, it is my intention that I am attracting the spiritual warriors of this world, those that are on the timeline that chose to come here now to break open heaven on earth. No biggie, but that's why I'm happy you're here. So just a really quick shout out and promotion. If any of you are women who would like to come do breathworks on new moons and full moons, Lunar Alchemy Circle, you can click the link below. I would love to host you. It's just a nice devotional space to come into more alignment, to feel it deeper in your body, in your breath, somatically. And it's just a beautiful honoring of following our moon as she moves throughout the sky. So that's a little promo for that. All right, let us begin. Eclipses are times of great transformation and great acceleration. I don't know about you, but I am experiencing some serious earthquakes. And I'm going to knock on wood as I say this. There we go. That I'm very appreciative. Some have been a little unsettling and a little unnerving, but it's allowed me to go back and touch a deeper place inside. Self-reflection, healing, lots of things are awakening within me in this time. I've got Virgo Pisces access in my 10th and 4th. So if you are someone that has angular Virgo Pisces, so either in your first 7th, 10th, and 4th, you're going to feel this eclipse season a lot stronger. But everybody's feeling it, and we see it all taking place in the collective. So with that said, I wanted to bring in a little bit of metaphor, a little bit of symbolism, and talk about, where we've been, where we're headed, and just go on from there. So we just had eclipse season kick off with a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. And for me, the big word that just was rising at the time was belonging. A sense of belonging in such a big way, right? Aquarius age is that one of you are your own frequency, right? How by you being your truest authentic self, by tuning out all the static you hear in the collective, find your way and either call in a tribe that is already existing out there, and you're supposed to meet up with these people and, break open something about heaven on earth, or you are supposed to be a leader and commit to your own practice and then attract people to come along with you, right? There's and that was the first preview, right, of the Aquarius axis getting lit up. But the nodes are still in Virgo and Pisces. So I wanted to talk about the axis of Virgo and Pisces because I think it's important in learning about the eclipse and what we can be looking for. Anytime there is a full moon, you've got the sun on one side and the moon in the other. So they're 180 degrees apart, and it's lighting up tension between two zodiac signs. So the interesting thing about this eclipse is it is being ruled by a Mercury that is in retrograde, a Mercury in its fall, a Mercury that's opposite the moon sitting in the temple of Pisces. And so that's going to give an interesting flavor to things that are coming up. But first, let's talk about the axis of Virgo Pisces, and then I'll get into some of the aspects after that. So let's see, what can I say about Pisces? Pisces is a beautiful sign. I love you, Pisces, okay? It is a watery temple. It is Jupiter's feminine home, feminine temple in the sky. I go based off Hellenistic astrology, so I don't give, outer planets. I don't give Neptune planetary rulership over Pisces. For me, it's Jupiter. It will always be Jupiter, but that's okay. And what I love about it is it's this dreamy place. It's a place of romance. It's a place that celebrates the goddess. And Venus, it is also important to note, is currently in Pisces. So the red carpet has been rolled out for the goddess, and she's just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And she had a conversation with Mercury before this lunation happened. And I'm going to get to that cocktail scene in a minute. But before that, what else do I want to say about Pisces? Pisces is an incredibly spiritual sign. It is a place of spiritual wisdom, a place of healing, but also a place of grief and longing. There is a sense of connection to the union of, our self and our spirit with the divine, and also an understanding of the separation taking place because we are incarnate in human form and we are not the full magnitude of what our higher self is or our spirit is. And it really creates like some anguish, some tension, some existential angst a little bit. And it is, however, ruled by Jupiter. So there always is this redemptive quality and the promise of a new dawn, right? Pisces is that moment, at least from the Northern Hemisphere perspective, Pisces is the very last season where darkness dominates. As soon as we hit the equinox, the light comes in. And so it's like, that's the promise. We know the light will eventually come. Like, just like we are incarnate, we know our spirit will go back into oneness with the divine, right? But it's like almost there. I like to think of Pisces as this place. If any of you have done plant medicine, I've sat in many, many ayahuasca journeys, and it's almost like, when you sit in a plant medicine ceremony and the secrets of the universe come to you with like keys of like, whoa, like I understand, everything. And then all of a sudden the work's over. 2 weeks later, you're living your life and you're back in like the funk and you're like, oh man, but I was just like in enlightenment. How could I not keep it, right? How can I not stay in that state of ecstasy? Because reality hits, right? And it's hard when reality comes in. So we have this that's Pisces to me, okay? Pisces cracks the code, hands Neo the pill, forget what color, where he realizes what he was living in, right? Like some big epiphanies take place in the temple of Pisces, spiritually. And on the other side of Pisces is Virgo. And they're like two teammates, okay? Like I see the zodiac archetypes, even though they're opposite, they're both teammates playing together. And I had this epiphany where it's like, okay, if Virgo is looking at Pisces and Pisces is like, oh, we cracked the spiritual codes, then Mercury ruled Virgo, which is way more pragmatic, right? It's got precision about it, discernment, give me the clean data, give me the Excel spreadsheets, what are all the formulas, let's get this in the right order. So it's saying, okay, give me all this spiritual wisdom, Pisces, tell me everything you revealed, because I will then embody it in the perfect form of a human being, because I know how to make it step by step by step, and everything will be fine. And then the reality of being an imperfect human then hits us in Virgo. And as a Virgo stellium, I will tell you, it is real. Okay, there is a bat. There is something that goes, my hair, I'm not doing it right. Okay, and it hurts. And the Virgos, we can be so critical. We can be so harsh on ourselves. So just because Pisces can give some spiritual wisdom and Virgo can, use that to its advantage, it's really hard. Even though something is simple, doesn't mean it will be easy to execute. And what comes up for me when I think about it is something like the Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz. You know what? I don't memorize all of them. So let me just pull it up and I'm going to share with you what those are. All right, what are the Four Agreements? I do know that the first one is to be impeccable with your word. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. All right. I'm looking this up and I'm going to read as I speak to you. Okay. So be impeccable with your word. Sounds pretty easy, right? How is that in practice? Kind of hard. Okay. Especially if you are someone that, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I don't want to say the full truth or whatever, there's always gray areas in this. It's very simple, be impeccable with your word, But is it easy in practice? Not so much. All right. Another one, don't take anything personally. That's going to be hard. Especially Pisces that feels everything, right? It's going to be really, really hard. Any water signs, it's hard, okay? The third one, don't make assumptions. Yeah, all right, nice try. Go try and do that. And number 4, always do your best. All right, so these are pretty good practices, right? And when we think about it, it's awesome, but again, it is not that easy. So what does it mean now that there is an eclipse that's been taking place across this axis? We've got the ruler of Virgo, Mercury, in Pisces retrograde, right? A very watery sign where it's not allowed to be rational, where there's not clear-cut boundaries, and Mercury has to do something different. Mercury that loves to communicate is going to receive it in more Piscean themes. So this is going to manifest, and you want to look for a strong communication in the form of your dreams, right? Journal, write down everything, the subconscious, what's coming up, and write down what you're receiving in your dreams. Notice if like a piece of art blows you away and somehow it creates this huge epiphany or revelation about something deeper into your emotional world. You can look for symbols, recurring numbers or themes or whatever you take as a symbol to represent some sort of communication, right? Spiritual communication coming to you at this time. And you also want to look for synchronicities. Remember, this is a time of karma. Eclipses are karmic in nature. So what synchronicities are coming up at this time for you to look at? And because the moon is associated with memory, and because Mercury is retrograde in this watery place of Pisces, what memory could be coming up at this time, and where are you asked to rewrite some narratives, some belief systems, right? Where is your intuition coming in? Or are you sure it's intuition and not projection? That could be another theme that's coming up. Or conversations that you have had with individuals. Sometimes eclipses can, we're here to shake things up. So if you were in any arguments and, any conversations where it's like a recurring thing, but maybe finally, suddenly something, you heard it differently. The way it landed, it just wasn't the same. Is something like that coming up for you at this time? Now, because this lunation is ruled by the South Node, then this is about closure, it is about revelation, and it is about releasing. So old narratives that have been sort of blurred perception could be rewriting themselves at this time. And I think consciously, if we're looking at like some of the biggest gifts with an oppositions, full moons, when one planet sits opposite another, they're the hardest to master, because it really is a tug of war. And if one gives too much, then you're going to find that imbalance. So I think some of the biggest gifts to show like, wow, I am integrating these truths really well. Look for things that are going to ease the criticism of Virgo, but also bring in that like spiritual wisdom of Pisces. How can they merge together? So one of the ways it can look like is soft talk, like softer talk to yourself, right? Where there's no more bat, where it's being put down, where there's a conversation happening internally to you or the people that you are allowing yourself to be in conversation with, that something is softer, feels a little more mature. I put surrendering of impossible standards. And this may seem a little bit weird, but I wrote pubic hair. I can't believe I wrote this, but I really want to go there, right? As someone who talks about, healing the wound of sexual assault in our world, I think we also need to discover what we're seeing collectively with the release of the Epstein files, that we are discovering that self-criticism was based on an illusion, right? That our beauty standards, and there's lots of conversations. I love, I can't remember her name. She's this beautiful actress. I want to say like Jaleel somebody. She wrote an article that was like, oh shit, we based our beauty standards from pedophiles, right? Because it was revealed that what's his name? I wrote it down. Les Wexner. Yep, that really sick in the head individual pedophile who is the CEO of limited brands and like in charge of Victoria's Secret. You know, they were putting these like little girls in these exalted positions of beauty, but keeping the need to stay like young. And this is where this image of, you know, Venus right now exalted in Pisces and Mercury in retrograde past Venus recently. Okay, so the way I envision this in the cosmos, I don't know. For me, Venus just like she talks like this. I don't know why. I don't. It's the goddess, right? And she's like, you know, partying in Pisces, and she sees Mercury, and like Mercury's like retrograde, and she's like, can you believe what they did to me, Mercury? They wanted me to shave my pubic hair, make me look like a bald chicken, calling it my only way I could possibly look beautiful. Do they not understand I'm a goddess? Jesus, my hair, lusciousness, the dimples on my thighs, you know, like she's complaining to Mercury in her state of exaltation. Like, how fucked up was that situation? I'm like, Venus is just celebrating herself right now, saying, you know, you gotta let this go, which feels very much like Mercury's like, oh, well, that's messed up, you know, and South Node in Virgo really releasing impossible standards of beauty. I hope every single woman is feeling this in the most empowering of ways. And I hope that it is breaking open for our beautiful, you know, for anyone actually, for men and women, just breaking open these impossible standards of beauty. And we can now rewrite a narrative where beauty is celebrated in all its forms, right? Where this pedophilia mafioso gang is being dismantled, right? And we still have to remember, I think it's very important to say that Saturn and Neptune are, you know, had just had their conjunction in Aries together, right? And Saturn in its fall, Neptune revealing secrets, revealing something hidden that we couldn't see before. Saturn in its fall could represent this toxic masculinity, right? And just dismantling it. Let's dismantle this. I think that part of this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse with the South Node is really allowing us, you know, or any guilt or any shame that we've ever experienced in terms of our bodies to absolutely let it go, right? That it was impossible to think that that was something that was going to hold, right? Because a new earth is birthing. We are all co-creating it. And I, for one, am celebrating the heck out of this. So releasing of guilt, releasing of shame, allowing yourself to be more intuitive with the body, and moving from this feeling of I need to fix to something like I'm just going to feel. I'm going to see how it feels and go from there. So I think we have a beautiful full moon. You know, we have Jupiter that's about to station and turn direct in just, I think, a week or so, maybe like 7 or 8 days, something like that. And it's in a beautiful trine to the sun. It's in a beautiful sextile to the moon, exalted in the temple of Cancer. So I think what we're seeing is, you know, Jupiter as it's about to turn direct, and it brings themes of expansion, of structure, of blessings, of unity, that there could be a lot of healing at this time around Cancerian themes like ancestral wounds or the healing of children, the healing of family patterns, of the healing of mother wounds, the healing of inner child stuff, you know, breaking of karmic cycles, I think could be something that is very big at this time. So the nodes, remember, they're associated with karma. And so what is breaking open for you at this time? What is being rewritten in terms of a narrative? Where is Mercury intuitively guiding you to understand and say, go back, revisit, you know, rewrite something that was like you thought was written in stone? No, it wasn't. And like we're finally seeing why, right? There's a new version emerging at this time. So I really hope that helps. This is very much a harvesting moment, an awakening moment, massively, collectively. Just think all the changes you're seeing collectively out in the world It is all internally happening somewhere inside of you. So I send you so many blessings. I wish you a beautiful remainder of this eclipse season. And if you are a woman, if you'd like to come breathe, somatically process the stars and feel them in your body, the link to the Lunar Alchemy Circle is below. Thank you so much, queridos. I love you. I'll see you soon. Mwah. Ciao.